Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Most of you I have been speaking to for the past half hour. So thank you. I'd like to welcome you to the DASNY Corporate Governance Committee, a video conference among 3 offices, Buffalo, Albany, and New York. I would like to welcome you to our annual meeting. And Sarah, will you discuss the polling of the board and the staff so we can have it on the record?
Sure. We have joining us today from the New York City DASNY office, Governance Committee Chair Beryl Snyder, Governance Committee Member and Chair of the DASNY Board, Al Carney. From the Albany office, we have Committee Member Joan Sullivan, and also Board Member Christina Coughlin is here as well. Jerry Romsky, Board Member, is in the New York City office, and Janice McKinney, DASNY Board Member, is in the Buffalo office. I believe that is all the board members who are here for this committee meeting at this time. For staff, we have our President Ruben McDaniel, Paul Koopman, Nadine Fontaine, Kim Ellis, Portia Lee, Ricardo Salomon, Matt Bergen, Craig Schreivogel, Steve Kozier, Jenna Flinton, Alex Sardine, Amanda Nazario, Karen Ellinger, and Miriam Barrero. And that, I believe, is it.
Thank you so much, Sarah. The first order of business will be the approval of the minutes of the January 10, 2023 meeting. Everyone here has had a chance to review these minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
It's Joan. I make the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Al. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
These minutes are approved. There are a few other things on this agenda that Sarah will review. The mission statement and metrics, the annual review existing policies, which are made up of 4 distinct areas. So Sarah, would you please?
Yes, thank you. As the members may recall, the Governance Committee Charter, the governance principles, and the guidelines pertaining to disposition of certain property owned by DASNY were reviewed at the October 2022 meeting. Those will not be reviewed again today. At that same meeting in the fall, the members reviewed the mission statement and performance measures, including metrics, and no suggestions for change were made at that time. However, subsequently, staff is recommending changes to the language in the metrics for goal number 3, which is seeking to advance the public policy goals of New York State. And I'm going to turn it over to Paul Koopman to talk a little bit more about that. It pertains to the enactment of Executive Order 224.
Thanks, Sarah. You may recall, Steve had reported, I believe a few meetings ago, that we've hired a new director of sustainability. Our new director has reviewed our metrics. We've had the same sustainability ones for quite a number of years, and the changes now reflect, are being updated to reflect DASNY's responsibility for current executive orders, as well as DASNY's role as a resource and partner for our clients in meeting their sustainability objectives. And we're going to then therefore collect new data to support those goals. As Sarah mentioned, one of the major changes is now, Executive Order 22 is in place. That has to do a lot with electrification of buildings and other ways to reduce the carbon footprint. The other changes that we're looking at are really capturing what savings our projects in conjunction with our clients are resulting in terms of energy savings, gas reduction emissions and so forth. And then also we look at in terms of cost avoidance, where projects that are saving energy and are reducing energy bills for our clients, what impact are those projects having on the clients' overall budgets and so forth. So looking at projected annual cost avoidance as well.
The city has some pretty detailed metrics that they follow. I don't know if you need.
We can certainly look at those two and see what they're performing. So, our clients set many of the goals, and again, the governor set, these advanced goals, and our job is to really partner with our clients. But working with them collaboratively, we feel that we can move the needle a little bit. And the metrics reflect kind of an updated view of that. Previously, we had looked at things like, LEED certification still in place, but that's a little bit dated now. I mean, it's almost a given in many cases that you're doing LEED. So we're advancing our review of these goals and focusing very specifically on EO22 and what the executive order calls for and how we can partner with our clients and measure ourselves against those goals that are established in EO22. So we are recommending that change to the governance committee and then to the full board.
Okay, so we have an obligation to go an annual review of the bylaws, and so those changes would be reflected in the bylaws as presented to the board or not, or as presented to the board tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, just that my script is somewhat.
we're looking for, yes. Get these.
That's not in the bylaws though, Paul. That's the,
All right, I'm sorry, yes,
Yeah, okay.
along with, so
Okay, so all right, so let's go item
Yeah.
through item,
Okay.
item by item. Is there any changes recommended to the annual, to the bylaws? Paul and Sarah, no. Is that right?
no, to the annual review of the bylaws, there are no changes at this time. We had incorporated the changes that we talked about in connection with the subsidiaries into the DASNY bylaws previously. So at this
Okay.
time, there are no additional changes to the bylaws as they currently exist.
And the same is true of the code of ethical conduct for board members. Is that correct, Sarah and Paul?
Correct. No changes are recommended at this time.
And the same is true that no changes are recommended regarding the payment of compensation and reimbursement to and time and attendance of senior management. So there are no changes recommended to that as well. And finally, with respect to the whistleblower policy, no changes are recommended and it does not need to go to the full board. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's correct as well.
Great.
All four.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, thank you. I think now is the time to go into executive session unless there are any other questions.
Sarah, do we need governance committee to adopt the new metric?
Yeah, we just need to note that the board, this committee of the board has reviewed them, and they are in agreement, and then they will go for board review tomorrow. So the record will
You
note
don't
that.
need-
if there's any
That's
objections.
right, okay. The record shall reflect that. Excellent, okay. Now,
So moved.
okay, let's, a motion to go into executive session. And I'd like to ask all members of the staff to excuse themselves. And it is the last matter before we adjourn, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
probably don't have to come back until the finance committee. meeting to come back.
Right, and I'll just note for the record, Madam Chair, that the reason for the executive session is to discuss the financial and credit history of particular corporations and matters leading to the employment, dismissal, promotion of various personnel. So we would need a motion to go into executive session and a second, and then staff members will leave. The board rooms will remain in executive session. There are, I believe, Amanda, you can correct me, no other board members on the line. Okay, so when you're done in executive session in Albany, somebody can let us know. We'll come back in and move everybody back into public session.
Terrific, thank you. Okay, Sarah, are you here? Who's here?
Yes, I am. So we just need
We're
to.
now back from executive session where I think you know the exact language to use.
Yep, we just concluded executive session where no action was taken other than that needed to return to public session.
Very good. I would now like a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got it.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Joan. All in favor, aye. And the governance committee is adjourned, and I wanted to thank all of you. I thought this was a great discussion. Thank you.